Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we will talk about the Java labeled statements. So without wasting time, let's get started. Now let us talk about the labels. So labels are nothing but names used to identify the statements. And we can use labels for the following programming constructs like your code blocks, all the iteration statements, conditional statements, expressions, assignments, written statements, try blocks, and your throw statement. And now we will look at the program that demonstrates the use of labels in each of the mentioned constructs. Now let us look at how labels are used in code blocks. But before that, let us understand what is a code block. So when you're grouping two or more statements, then this is nothing but your code block. So if I group the statements int number equals to 24 and then the print statement, then this part becomes your code block. All right. So we can add label to our code block in Java. So what we can do is we can write something like this: label 1 colon, and then we have the start of the code block, right? And now let me run this program. Now let me compile the program. Okay, we have this compilation errors, variable num. Okay, we have this variable number and not num. So let me correct it and then run the program. Now let me change this variable from num to number and the program should run properly. Now let me compile the program once again. Yes, it's proper. Now let me execute it. So we have this Java label. And yes, we have the output as 24. Now let us understand how to use label in iteration statements. And here we are using the nested for loop. So what we can do is we can write something like this before the for statement, outer loop, then the colon. And also before the for statement for the inner loop, we can write something like this, inner loop and your colon, right? So now let me run this program. Now let me compile and execute it. And as you see, we have the proper output. And we can use labels for the other iteration statements as well. Now let us see how we can use labels in conditional constructs like if and switch, right? And so in this example, just before the if statement, we can write something like this, check condition, then your colon, right? Now let me run this program. Now let me compile and execute the program. And as you see, we have the proper output greater than 23. Similarly, in the switch statements, our case constants are nothing but the labels. So here this 23 and 24 are your labels. All right. In Java, you can also write label in front of your expression. So in this expression, num equals to 2 plus 3 times 4. So we can write the label as this, label 1 colon and then the expression, right? And if I compile this, the program should run properly. Now let me compile the program. Now let me execute it. And as you see, the program executed successfully. So this program is the example of using labels before your assignment statement, right? So this variable num is assigned with the value of 2, and before that I've added this label 1, right? So let me run this program and the output should be 2. We have successfully compiled the program. Now let me execute it. And as you see, we have displayed the value as 2, right? Yeah, in this corner, you can see the output 2 is displayed. One thing you must know is that you cannot write your label before the declaration and the initialization of your variable, right? So suppose if I write label before this statement, int I equals to 2, then I'll get the compilation error. So let me run this program. And now if I compile the program, I should get the compilation error. Variable declaration not allowed here. All right. So in this example, what I've used is I've used labels before the try block, and I've also used label before the throw statement, right? And don't worry about this right now. Just remember that you can add your label before the try block and your throw statement, right? So let me run this program, and the exception caught here should be printed as the output. Now let me compile the program and let us execute it. And as you see, we have the output as exception caught here. All right. And last place where you can use your labels is before the return statements, right? And again, don't worry about this return statement right now. We will look at them in the great detail in the later videos. All right. For now, just remember that you can add label before the return statements, right? So let me run this program. Now let me compile and execute it. Now let me execute it. And as you see, the program executed successfully. So that is it for the today's video. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I will see you until next time.